Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the General Purpose and Finance Committee meeting on Monday, 15th of July. We are slightly late starting. We might apologise for that. Just a little bit of housekeeping. We have no planned fire alarm. So should they please go off, or should they please go off, should they go on, please exit the building via your nearest exit point. There's one at the front of the building, there's one through the kitchen, and there's one behind me. Right then, let's move on. Apologies for absence.
Yes, it just got Councillor Tyra.
Okay, thank you. You will note declarations of interest for anybody. No, we're all good with that. Then we will move on to the first public participation. If there is anybody that has any anything they'd like to bring up? No, we all good? Okay then. I'll move swiftly on then. Terms of reference to review membership numbers.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
Public participation.
Yeah, we've just done that. No one wanted to say anything.
Yeah.
But on this one I've got on here, this one's slightly different.
Oh, hang on. Right, sorry, that's the
The
minute.
one, I was going to say the one I've emailed to myself, Sharon,
no,
it's
that's
slightly
okay.
different. I've got terms of reference. I have got terms of reference to review membership numbers. So, Sharon, would you?
Yeah.
Do you want to?
Oh, didn't we vote on the minutes? Oh, minutes. Yeah, we haven't done the minutes yet. But my apologies. Yeah,
First one. See, mine's different, Sharon.
Public participation.
Okay.
Minutes, yeah.
Monday, 15th of July. It's weird.
Unless
No, public mind.
No, mine's different.
Oh, there was an amendment.
Ah, see, there you go. That's why mine's different.
Yeah, sorry. We'll go
Okay, we'll go through by this one, not the one I have here. So the minutes of the meeting dated 17th of June. Do any members have anything they'd like to say, or are we happy to pass them off? So, Councillor T to propose, Councillor Waits to second, and is everybody in acceptance?
Yeah, unanimous.
Good, thank you. So now we'll go to terms of reference. Councillor Fraser, did you have something you wanted? No, you was just slow on the, okay. So we have then terms of reference to review membership numbers. Sharon?
Yeah, I think I just wanted to put one amendment towards this, and that is we wanted to probably expand the membership. Everyone seemed to want to do that. So I just wondered if on there it does say it used to say 6 members, and I've just amended it to a minimum 6. So obviously, but there is no maximum. If you wanted to add one in, that would be fine.
Okay, so we're happy to have a minimum of 6, but we can obviously exceed those numbers because we are all quite conscious, aren't we, that we have new members that join the council that might like to be on committees that we haven't yet placed them on. Councillor Taylor, you have a comment?
I was going to make the proposal that we make the recommendation for the amendment as Sharon's presented, but have that ratified at full council in an item immediately prior to an item for the extra members to be added.
Yes,
So I think it would need ratification.
okay.
Are you happy for that?
Yeah,
All members,
that's
is that
fine.
your proposal, Councillor Taylor? Do I have a seconder for that? Councillor Westby, and everyone approves, yeah?
Yeah, unanimous. Yeah, got that.
That's good then. We're going back to your copy, Sharon, because mine's slightly different. Council's risk register for consideration and resolution.
So it's a new document, but it is based on one that I know is in existence and circulation with other councils. So I've sort of adjusted it to reflect this town council. But it just it will complement our risk management policy. And it gives you an overview of the sort of things that we take into consideration when we either set the precept, financial records, employees, election costs, VAT, etc. So it's just a useful guide, especially if people want to check whether we are checking ourselves, if we like.
Okay, councillor Taylor, you have a
Yeah,
comment?
I was just gonna congratulate Sharon and the team for the work that's gone into this, because I think it's very good, especially when, recently we did have a lot of public making inquiries about, our risks, or especially in financial elements. So I think not only does it give us as members reassurance that we're doing things right and that our officers are doing things right, but hopefully we'll also offer some reassurance to the members of the public. So I would like to propose its acceptance and approval, please.
So do we have a second of the adoption of this risk register? Councillor S Fraser, and is that you? You're not on the committee, you're just,
Oh,
you're just gonna sit, Vera.
So that's unanimous.
Okay, that's unanimous. Vera's just sitting.
Mhm.
And then we have finance for consideration and resolution. And we've got, should we take them on block or would you like us to go through?
Yeah,
We have,
just for your information, that one. really.
yeah, the budget and actual figures to date to monitor. And they'll be in the full council agenda and pack anyway, won't they?
Yeah, yeah.
So we'll, they're just for us to monitor at this moment in time, and full council will accept them next month. Town hall project update.
Yeah, right, okay, so I think, I've got a slight update on what I sent to you, because, I am, well, what I'd like from, councillors is to really focus on the kitchen quotes, because those are now complete, and you have had the copies of all of the quotes in full on that one. So,
Have we had the designs though, Sharon?
yeah,
Because I am quite eager to have a
Yeah.
look, and I actually haven't seen any because I
Oh.
haven't seen the
Oh, okay.
designs, and I'm quite eager
yeah,
to look at them. Obviously, worked in trade kitchens and stuff. I'm quite eager to see what the proposals are and what equipment that we're looking to put in and the layout.
yeah, I mean, they
It's
have
in
got,
the meeting.
yeah.
Yeah, I just said mine's different. I haven't got it.
Oh, okay.
It's not on this
Yeah.
one that I've sent
Oh, I
myself.
see. Oh, I get you. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, but the papers were sent to everyone, and they have got the actual designs. So, but it's very difficult to do that in a setting where we've only got 15 minutes left. So we can.
It is, that is.
absolutely fine.
So looking at these, there's no microwaves in
Right.
here. The two cookers, that's great, like that. But Councillor Taylor's looking at the clock and just nodding.
Yeah, what I was actually going to suggest is, as you have experience working in trade kitchens and you chair the committee, perhaps you could come into the office and just spend half an hour sitting down with Sharon to go over the designs, the
design.
drawings, everything, and
Yeah.
then come back to the next committee with a recommendation.
Yeah, I'm obviously, I'm also mindful, and I don't know if Councillor Birching would agree to me as a regular hirer of the hall. A double doored fridge would be good for you to be able to serve, like put trays and platters in. And I think for anybody that's having a party here. So
Yeah.
they're all things that maybe we could talk about rather than a regular
Yeah.
standard fridge. So if that's the proposal that Councillor Taylor is suggesting that Yeah.
Defer to the next.
we
meeting.
defer and,
Recommendation for committee.
yeah,
That's fine. Yeah.
is that okay? Cool, thank you. I might drag Councillor Bircham into that then as well, as he regularly hires the hall. There you go. I'm going back to your one, 'cause mine's
Yeah.
different. Is that everything on the town hall update? It was just the kitchen,
Let me just
because
have a look.
I have got an email, I don't know if the resident copied you into it, asking questions about the town hall projects.
Mhm.
Um,
No, I haven't seen that.
helps if I go into the town council's emails and not my own. I've just had a resident, while we're talking about it, that has emailed asking, he understood some improvements scheduled to the town hall. I've tried to discuss this with some committee members of the Heritage Group, but been told no major work can take place as the building is listed. He's checked the Historic England website to confirm the town hall is grade 2 listed. However, the listing is still under the Doric restaurant and is therefore out of date. This needs to be changed. Grade 2 listing means any alterations, both internal and external, need to be notified to both Historic England and Brecon Council and the appropriate permission granted. I trust this has been done prior to any work taking place.
That's not the advice I've had from the listed building officer.
I did go back to him. There is quite a lot. It does go on the email. It does go on.
Yeah.
But I did go back to him and say that you had been instructed to speak with the conservation officer, and that obviously any small minor improvements that have been carried out that you have liaised with the appropriate people. So do you have?
I mean, well, I've basically gone through the whole project with the conservation officer from the front of the building to the back, the decoration at the front and the back. Let him know that we have got an amendment to the kitchen, as in there'll be a doorway put in, and also to tell him we are going to have the kitchen refurbished. He was really comfortable about that. He gave me some advice as to if there is if there's anything new that you're doing to the building, then he would have to be notified. If you're doing something that is replacing, then he's not needing to be notified. But anything that I do just for good measure, before, if you've made a decision on a particular style of kitchen or whatever, I could send that to him just for good measure to make sure that we are still along the right lines. And as we go through, I will let him know.
That's great. So if the resident that's contacted me views this meeting online, hopefully that will reassure him.
Yeah.
And the widening of the doorway on the entrance, you've liaised with him also on that as well.
Not yet, because you haven't made a decision on what you exactly want to do.
Okay.
So until you've done that, now going to those building quotes, I've only just had them all in. One came in after the agenda was sent, and I don't really think it's fair on that item but I will send that information through, and then we can then have a further discussion on how you want that job to go, because there are different options, and I've been given various remits here. So I think you should make the decision. Then once you've made your decision, if that's the way you want to go, I can then notify him. Because I think I'll just confuse him if I said, well, we've got this option, and this option.
So if when we leave this meeting this evening, or if there's a little bit of time, if we can look at that door and have a slight discussion, and then give Sharon something that she can firmly put on an agenda for options.
Yeah.
Is everyone happy with that? Well, then I'm happy with that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have those ready when we get down there.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Apart from that, I think also just to let you know that I've had a date for the decoration of the front and the back of the building, and that's the 29th of July we'll be starting.
Cool.
And yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah. And but he just wondered if anybody who's been on the council for a long time would happen to know what the particular shade was that they used years ago for the green. He said, obviously I'll try and match it, but if we can't find out.
They mixed it.
They mixed it.
I think as long as it is a similar shade of green, I don't think members are overly concerned.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
As long as it's like not emerald green or lime green, I think we're happy for a similar shade of green to be sold. And at your discretion. Is everyone happy to give Sharon the discretionary choice of colour?
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Excuse me. No, not this, not choice of colour. Choice of shade. Choice of shade, yeah, not choice of colour.
Yeah,
Choice of shade.
Yeah. So yeah, I've got that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm happy to do that as it is green.
Yep.
And also maybe we can have a little conversation about the rear of the car park, because everyone's had the site meeting, or not everyone was at that site meeting, but a fair few councillors were. And there was a suggestion that I go away and get quotes for tarmacking that area and white lining it, as opposed to putting a post and chain across.
So I don't. I think most councillor especially there, Councillor Fraser, I don't believe you was there, and Councillor Taylor, I don't believe you were there. So basically, there's been some issues with misplaced parking to the rear of the town hall, and it was a consideration that we'd put some posts in and a chain with a padlock, coded padlock, that the residents would have.
the code so they could access to get through to their properties, but it would stop the misplacement of parking. That's not been greatly received by some of the residents, and unfortunately one was quite vocal while we was outside having our site meeting, and his comments were kindly received by members. So with that in consideration, and myself, Councillor Fraser and Councillor Taylor have all had representation from a resident outside of the chamber, that she was concerned that she has to access the properties at the rear for work, not because she lives there, and that late at night she didn't particularly want to be faffing around with a padlock. Well, she would be to enter, but she wouldn't be to securing it afterwards, if that was the requirement. However, she was concerned that there's lack of lighting out there, it's quite dark, and as a lone female, she didn't feel safe, particularly accessing, getting out of her car and having to muck around with a chain and a padlock. When we suggested we got sort of quotes to have our side of it tarmacked, like this side of the path, and we could line it out nicely and maybe put the drop posts in, so it would restrict parking. However, people hiring the hall could be given access to those parking spaces throughout the day and the evening, and it would stop them misplacement happening. I don't know if everyone is happy for Sharon in a formal aspect. I was here in the chambers to tell her formally to go off and seek quotes for that type of investment to go into our car park, or if anybody else has any other suggestions. Councillor
It's
Thwaites.
the most central option to drop posts, and it solves all the problems people don't access. So to me, it would make sense to go down that route.
The only thing
So-
the only thing I would say to that is if the resident has an issue with having to get out and do a padlock, they're still going to have to get out.
Well,
of
the
their car to
residents
do it.
won't be doing any
Right.
drop posts because the drop posts will be within the parking bays.
Yes, be in the middle of parking there.
They'll be in the middle of the parking bay, so that you'd have to drop the post to park in the parking bay. The residents won't be parking in at the town council parking bays, will they?
No, they'll be parking outside their garages.
Exactly, so the
Right,
posts
okay. I get you.
won't be a problem because
Yeah.
the posts will be in the individual parking bays. We'll have
Yeah.
posts
Okay, and they will be for our hirers.
for our
Yeah.
hires
Councillors and
and
visitors.
When
Yeah.
you get quotes, and she's got,
Staff.
the ones that fold down, or the ones that drop into the.
Yeah,
Maybe look at both of them.
Yeah.
and see
yeah.
what's
See,
cheaper,
yeah.
yeah. I just think-
Fold down ones. for cheap.
Oh, but-
Yeah, they probably will be,
Yeah.
and probably easier to install.
Mm.
But that would seem like a wiser,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
the town hall visitors, there is
Yeah.
and stuff. Councillor Taylor.
Sharon, had you already started seeking?
Yeah.
Quotes for the resurfacing?
yes, yeah.
'cause
yeah.
I think you said when.
I
you were
I
on
have asked for one quote, yeah.
Station Road.
I've asked for one quote already just to preempt that, just to find out what. the cost
I
would
think it's
be.
also, we need to be mindful that if we chained it off, that would then restrict sort of access, and I have already had also representation and comments made that actually one of the town hall users did block the drive in the last week or so. So our neighbours couldn't actually access their property, and when asked to move it, actually some quite sarcastic comments were made back, because they have a personal knowledge of each other outside of the town hall's remit, which obviously doesn't reflect well on the council when somebody that uses our facility that is here without permission is causing a hindrance to our neighbours. So I think with that, they could still pull into that bit, but maybe not into a bay. But and there would be no restriction from just like the top of
The
the car
access,
park.
just the car parking spaces themselves.
Yeah, it'd just be the car parking spaces themselves.
I think the fundamental flaw with the chain anyway, it relied on somebody actually chaining it back up again.
And that was
Yeah.
what the lady that we'd spoke to said she wouldn't
Yeah.
be doing that at 10, 11 o'clock
No,
at night in the
yeah.
dark. But that also does lead to the fact that maybe there is a lighting issue even for our hirers that are leaving late at night. Maybe we need to put some emergency lighting or something on the back that sensors that just comes on when there's
Yeah.
like some movement out there. Councillor Taylor.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if councillor Threats was making the proposal that we explore the costs for the posts and resurfacing, that I would second that proposal. Sharon did.
And with some lighting,
Yeah, and
Realistically.
it just makes it safer. It's a safer environment for our staff.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
winter, it's a safer environment for our hirers.
Totally agree.
Is everybody in favour?
Yeah.
Sharon, thank
does that
you.
mean to say that you want that post removed?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Right, then we'll move on and we'll review the allotment fees, please.
Okay. Well, I've sent I've just sent a little piece of paper really, just to sort of give you an idea that at the moment on each of those, what the charges are with regard to the size plot. So they're pretty standard. And then just to give you an example of if you increase them by 10%, what the difference per annum cost rises. Well, if, for instance, you're at Grosvenor and it's 25 pence a square metre, which is our most expensive allotment, that costs you £49 a year. If you did a 10% rise, that would be going up £4 a year.
I don't know how other members feel. I am always perplexed as to why we charge a different fee per allotment, because obviously it adds to the administration in the office, the girls. The Queen's Road allotments, some of them are just as big as the Grosvenor Park allotments.
Yeah.
Yet, and I know it's only like 5p, like difference between in if it goes up 10%. But I don't understand why we don't have a set rate for all of our allotments to make it easier for the girls in the office. I'm just a bit perplexed by that, but I'm open for members' comments.
Is there a particular reason why? And is it historical?
It's per.
Yeah.
square, whatever.
Yeah,
It
they're
is-
all per square
Yeah,
metre, but
yeah,
they're all a different fee for different sites.
I mean, you might want to put Grosvenor down to 20p, but you might want to put the other two, Chapel Road and Queen's Road, up 5p, so that's in line with Grosvenor.
I-
Grosvenor is our newest one, isn't it?
Yeah, I just think they should, personally, I
Oh,
feel
sure.
they should all be the same.
I'm
Yeah.
sure it is any better at any.
But I do think, obviously, Grosvenor being newer, I think it's a nicer site because it's much more open and obviously it's got a feel of like being newer. Chapel Road is a little bit enclosed.
But that's my favourite allotment.
Yeah, yeah, and it's everything's so much together. But because you've got the luxury of more land at Grosvenor, you've got better pathways in between. It's harder to get stuff down at Chapel Road because, like, there's a slope, isn't it, in there, and
I think
it's not
over the years,
accessible.
the plots have sort of impinged on the pathways. There's maybe
They will
been
have done.
some
Yeah,
poetic license used when tenants have dug their plots over and the paths have got narrower. Maybe that I wouldn't like to cast aspersions on anyone's character, but I that's the one I like the most because I feel like that one always looks the tidiest. It's always well presented at Chapel Road. Not that Queen's Road isn't, but I just I don't know why they're not all the same fee. I just think the girls up there are working out different fees for different areas when
Yeah,
they come up for renewal. It's silly.
yeah.
When was the last of this sort of review?
Oh,
It was in the Leslie's time.
yeah.
We put them up.
I think it was about 2022,
Probably for about
21 or 22. Yeah, 3 years max. Yeah.
Councillor Taylor.
Yeah, I was just going to say, perhaps we could either defer this to the next GP or environment.
When is the annual renewal of the January? So we've got a few months.
Well,
I think actually,
yeah,
the
we
site
haven't.
visit
No,
with
we
the,
haven't.
Because you have in there.
again, committee chair, maybe head groundsman, just to talk about, the
They don't get
requirements
a right
which is
to
on, and whether or not there is actually a justifiable reason.
Right. Councillor Taylor, if we don't make a decision on this evening, the allotment holders won't have their 6 months advance warning on their allotments. It is pence. It is pence. If we bought them all in line, it would be £53 a year. So the lower one is 43, because that's 20p per square metre at Queen's Road. and Grosvenor Park is at the current price. Queen's Road is 20p a square metre, Grosvenor Park is 25p a square metre. Why there's a 5p difference, I know,
So what is the proposed increase
10%.
10%.
on what the current fee is?
Yeah,
But obviously that would
All
be,
of
if we
them.
bought them all in line, that would be slightly different for Queen's Road and Chapel Road. It would be a slightly higher than 10%. Or we could leave Grosvenor Park the same and just put those two up, but then that would be
Yeah.
unfair to the allotment holders on those two sites.
But can I please propose that tonight, given the deadline, we accept the proposed increase of 10% to each of the allotment sites, but afterwards, like in readiness for the next review, undertake a site inspection of the 3 sites to get a comparable, service for each,
And actually explore bringing all 3 sites under the same pricing.
Yeah.
So,
Can we then, for the allotment holders in Chapel Road and Queen's Road, put like a sub-paragraph in there just saying members noted that your allotment is charged differently and there is a possibility, let's forewarn them that there's a possibility that it
Yeah.
will be, it could well be increased to come in line with
at the point.
at the point of the next
Yeah.
review, just so we can get there.
yeah.
It might
got
take us 12 months, but let's
That's okay,
let's make it a little bit
Yeah.
easier for everybody. All right then,
Sounds
it's
good. Thank you.
unanimous. Thank you very much. And then we've got the review of the cemetery fees.
Yeah, I'm not, have they ever been?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have been
they've been
reviewed, yeah, last reviewed.
Probably 2 years ago.
Ah, okay,
think
yeah.
Sharon
I didn't have any
Going up quite a
proposals
lot.
on that. I
So
just,
we're staying
I
the
just
same,
thought,
or we
um,
just want us to note them?
I just think the cost of living as it is, it's quite, when you add up the cost of the burial anyway, I just don't think there's any
Councillor
need
Taylor?
to increase it.
Yeah, I was literally going to say the cost of living's enough. I don't think we should be putting up the cost of dying. I honestly
Yeah.
feel like, do you know what I mean? I just think in
Brilliant,
today's
yeah.
climate, I just think it'd be completely
Yeah.
unnecessary.
That's really, really good point.
If we can afford to do it at these prices, then yeah, I don't dispute that it should be any
Yeah.
with councillor Taylor, it should be. I'm happy to, so is there anyone to second that proposal? Councillor Westby?
Maybe we
And-
can word it a little bit better.
Like the wording as it is.
Are we?
I'm gonna
use it.
are we allowed
To keep them the same.
Yeah, unanimous.
That is
Yeah.
unanimous, Sharon.
Yeah.
So we have town market matters for consideration and resolution.
I've got nothing specifically to do that. I've got some information from the 5 Market Towns meeting. I asked our fellow market towns if they could share some information as to how they get hold of farms market stalls, etc. So they, I think it was the Watton clerk, kindly sent me some information. So I'm now working on that. So just to let you know, I haven't forgotten it, and we are trying, and we talked to Stephen, and we try and find ways in which we can increase stalls.
Councillor Swain?
just very briefly, might be the right of the thing, there's a company I follow on Facebook who do street food markets. Clear Company, maybe I'll chat with you about that when we
Yeah.
finish it. It might not be appropriate.
Yeah,
but
okay.
A
Never
few of
to
their
have a look.
events might well attended that I've been to.
Yeah, lovely, thank you.
Councillor Taylor?
I was just going to say that it was really nice actually that one of the 5 Market Town meetings had such a strong comeback from the get-go. So there
just
was,
For residents of the back, the 5 Market Town meetings are facilitated by Breckland, where they meet with the clerk and the chairs of councils for the 5 market towns. And which is a prime example of Breckland and the town council, the district council and the town council working together. And it is, like Councillor Taylor said, nice to see something.
There was something positive coming back to benefit the town council from that meeting, and actually the engagement. I think you actually had some emails come in the very same day, didn't you?
I did,
So-
straight away, yeah.
This might be a clerk. I know they're not within our district, but this has a really successful
Yeah,
market. So maybe their clerk might also, if we
yeah, I can do that.
put some feelers out.
Yeah.
Right then, not rushing, but I'm rushing because Councillor Taylor will be On me, purchase request and consideration for microphones for the tables.
I don't think we can make a decision tonight because you haven't had the quotes. But as you can see, we've got a little trial here. We can just keep going until we're happy with what we like. So at the next meetings, at the town council meeting, I might get a different option put on the table. So
Okay, cool.
that's just going to have to be deferred.
All right, thank you very much for that. Member training.
Again, that was just put on there as a standing item, just to let you know that our budget for this year is 4,500. Last year I put the budget down. I'm not sure if that was wise because last year the budget was 7,000. So we'll see how we go.
So was that
We did
overspent?
overspend,
But you overspent it, so
But
this,
we overspent at the very last couple of months when I didn't have that information.
and that was member training.
Yeah.
Has there been a lot of member training or is this meant to say
Right,
staff
yes.
training?
I think that should be reworded as in training budget, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
training
yeah,
budget,
sorry,
but not
that's
member
fine. Yeah,
training.
yeah, that's just, I don't.
Because I love a bit of member training.
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
like, and I quite like it when we're all together in the same room and someone comes and
Yeah,
does us some training. So, and I am very mindful we have some new members and that might be really good
yeah.
to maybe have some group training. But are you wanting us to put the budget back up or are you just?
No, I
advising
mean,
us of
I'm
what
just
the budget is?
letting you know at the moment. It's just for info, yeah.
Okay, Councillor Taylor.
I was going to endorse what you'd said about when we have trainers come in. The last planning session that we had was
Yeah.
very good. And I am mindful that if you're doing one of the online Zoom or Teams one, it's very easy to get distracted. You know, the doorbell goes and you get up or you think, oh, I'm just going to go make a cup of tea. And then, you know, you get caught short in the kitchen for 20 minutes. And you come back because you've got it on mute, your camera off and you've missed half the session and it's being paid for.
Not that
These-
Councillor Taylor's done that.
These things do happen. These things do happen. And I just feel like to have it in the room, you know you're there, you know you're present, you know you're getting your money's worth. And I just think the training that we had last time was just fantastic.
Can I
Yeah.
make a suggestion then that maybe like on this monthly meeting, like for GPNF and for planning and highways and for the open spaces, if there's not anything that's really pressing on an agenda, like that needs something that specifically that month,
Yeah,
that would be if we have a shorter meeting with just a couple of items on it and we have some training scheduled for that evening, because most of our members are out
yeah.
on this
yeah.
evening because we come to our meetings. We have 3 committees sit tonight, so that is the majority of us.
Yeah,
Maybe if there's
good idea.
if we can get a month where there's not
Yeah,
so much going on for both committees,
Yeah.
then or 3 committees, we can have some
Yeah.
group training, and even if it's some training that the staff can sit on too, if the staff
Yeah.
want to come let's
Yeah.
kill all of our birds with one stone and see if
Yeah.
we can get all our eggs in one
sounds
basket.
good, yeah.
Good, okay
yeah.
then. Well, look at me with the puns there. Yeah, bar and licensing for consideration and resolution.
Yeah, I'm just mindful that we do have a bar contract. But I know that a couple of members have sort of mentioned to me, should we have sort of like a contingency where we appoint someone like the town clerk or anybody that you choose to also go through the licensing? And so therefore you have another name. I don't know if it's possible, but have another named license.
You can't have another DPS. You can only have
You can only have one.
one
Oh, God,
designated
okay.
premises supervisor.
Okay,
But in all fairness, I think for a member of staff to know licensing legislation and
Yeah.
law is also always a good thing, because we do run and own a licensed premises. Actually, we own more than one licensed premises
yeah,
because the recreation ground is licensed.
yeah,
So I always think that it's a good thing, because then you know the law. You can't have anyone that's using that facility tell you something
Mm.
that's not quite true,
yeah.
and because you would know firsthand.
Yeah.
So, Councillor Taylor.
Yeah, Sharon, would you, if it was the will of the committee, would you be prepared
Yeah.
To undertake that licensing training and to get a personal license.
Yeah.
You would be happy to do
yeah.
that, okay? Because I think that's the first thing is,
Yeah.
you know, I don't feel like we should be enforcing that upon you.
No,
Because it wasn't part of the job specification when you joined the council. And then if you were to do that, would you be happy to become the designated premises supervisor? Because I don't think it's explicitly written into any contract or tender that that person has to be, or even should be, the DPS
Yeah.
of this
Okay.
premises
Yeah.
as a whole.
I would, just so long as I'm not going to tread on anyone's toes, and if it isn't in any type of contract, then yes.
Well, I think check the contract.
Yeah.
Check the contract. I'm quite happy for Sharon to undertake the training, but that way she knows the
Regardless.
law
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
legislation regardless. So is that your proposal, councillor Taylor?
Yes, I would propose that Sharon undertakes the training and secures herself a personal licence.
Councillor Fraser will second that, and is everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
Unanimous.
Unanimous.
Heritage Matters.
Just to let you know, I'm going to keep it really, really brief, that the Heritage Group are looking to take on the signal box. So they're going through lots of procedural things to try and get, ownership of it and to adopt it, if you like. So I haven't really got too much to say on it, but I have attended a meeting with them, with Megan, and I'll give you some more information if you need it, but they will take the lead on that. So.
Is there anything we can do to support that? Because I must admit, I walked down the post box down the other day and it looks dreadful.
Yeah.
It's looking really sad.
Yeah.
So anything we can do to support them.
Okay, I will put that to them, and I'm sure they would really take the help. Yeah, certainly I know they would want to support the town council
Yeah.
at some point.
Well, I think if members are minded to, I think we can maybe draft a letter to Greater Anglia Network Rail, whoever the signal
Yeah.
box belongs to, which is awful. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't shoot me for it.
Okay,
And express that we support
yeah,
that happening, that it would be nice, just so
Yeah.
there's a bit of affirmation there from the town council that,
yeah, Yeah, that's great.
yeah.
That's wrong.
I know from like the joint partnership perspective with Megan working for the town council and the district council,
Right.
she's already been liaising with some, and the fact that Sharon's now in that as well. Again,
Yeah.
it's if we can all be joined up and work together,
yeah,
would be great.
that's right, yeah, that's it.
That's it then. Second, public participation. Don't all jump at me at once. Come then, councillor Wenham. What would you like to say?
Two things. One, the signal box, I think, comes under Network Rail. The other thing is, can we have code hooks put on the back of the cubicles and toilets?
Yeah.
I've had a couple of people mention that, but nowhere to put the coats and jackets. The other thing also is to do with the market. I've spoken to 11 traders over the last couple of weeks, and they are committed to weekdays, but they are very keen on either Saturday or Sunday farmers or home produce.
So like a once a month or a
Once a month,
bi-monthly,
yeah.
yeah?
Can we talk about that so I can get the
Yeah.
Will you
information?
share
Yeah.
that information
Yeah.
with our clerk, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Leslie?
Assuming that we've been more successful, we can say that we've found 9,000 away from.
Yeah.
But on the email thing, I'm also thinking that Tetra Brothers has run the start to discuss 20 million investment.
Yeah, that was a fund from central government, which at the moment with the new government that we have, I don't know quite how that's going to pan out. I think at a district level, they're still waiting to find out if that pledge for that investment is going to still be there.
Still there. Can we shout some more money?
I think we can shout for money, but obviously this hasn't come down from the district to Thetford Town Council. It has come down from central government, and it is all it's not for the town centres it is tech-based, industry-based funding to expand that side of the infrastructure. So but we are always happy to try and support the town where we can, and there is funding at the minute that for clubs and groups, that if you know anyone that wants to do anything. Yeah, so if there's anything you'd like, anyone would like to share that with, please do. The Inspiring Communities Fund is always available. You are welcome. Anybody else? Right then, do we have any items for the next agenda? Just an update on the bus shelters with the bridge, Sharon, if we could.
Yeah.
The car park.
Yeah.
And then just our running items of like the town hall.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Right then, thank you, everybody. I'm going to hand over to Councillor T Taylor for the following meeting. Yeah, I don't